Hi everybody, this is Katie. Welcome to episode 8 of Ancient Japanese Gardens. Today I am going to be working on an herb garden for Coco, but this area over here is going to need a lot of work. I'm going to put her house probably up here so that it's situated against the backdrop of the rice paddy fields that we did last time. But I'm also going to be working on an herb garden area that's going to expand all the way down here, and at the same time I need to be able to connect the water from this water source over here all the way over to where the waterfall comes down over here. I also need to prep an incline that goes down so that we're ready for the next area. So there's a lot that I need to get ready and do. So I'm going to put a few things in order and then we'll get started with decorating. I've time traveled the day forward so that the building and the incline would move, and I really like the way that Coco's house fits in the island. The area is kind of a unique shape, so it's coming together really well. The incline is in place, and I think this area is looking pretty good. I'm excited to get in and get the herb garden put together for Coco. She looks excited too. Let's go. For Coco's herb garden area, I wanted to create several little thin patches so that the herbs could go down. And so it wasn't just going to be one big garden for herbs, but lots of little gardens for herbs. I also need to get the path so that it moves really smoothly from the bridge over to the incline and down through all of the different garden areas. So at this point, I'm still just trying to figure out the spacing for where the garden is going to go. I've got a couple of them in place back by her house now, and I'm moving down. I want at least 2 of them down here by the water, but I need enough space. So I'm getting a little bit finicky back and forth where exactly it's going to go, what this spacing is going to look like. I also decided it would be really cool if one of them could be a little bit bigger because I have a lot of ideas for what type of plants and herbs and things I could put down to sort of create the illusion that the garden is full of a lot of different things. Once I have the garden patches in place, I start working on the path. This was easily the most complex path area I have ever put together. I needed it to really move very cleanly in and about through the different potted kind of herb garden areas, as well as up to the house and from the bridge over to the incline. I also wanted to include some areas that weren't just straightforward path, and that was part of what made it complicated, so that the path would sort of meander through the area. I didn't want the path to just go straight to the house. I wanted it to break up a little bit. In the end, it came out great. I'm really excited about the final path once I put it together, but I had to go slow and careful to get this one to come together just the way that I wanted. After sorting out the path, here is what it looks like. When you come off of the bridge, then it moves over here past her house and down into the fields. And look at Billy just zooming around. It was super cute. But down into these different areas here and then also up here. And then the path moves all the way over to the incline. So that worked out pretty well. I'm ready to decorate the area now. I started decorating the area and I was thinking about how to make the little planter boxes for the herbs look like planter boxes instead of just being a plot of land on the ground. And I have a little bit of an idea. I'm just going to drop the DIY bench down here real quick and show you an item that I was thinking about. This is the low screen. And the low screen is not used very often in the game. This is the light brown version, and I'm just going to scroll down here. I downloaded a couple really basic wood patterns, and I've got one of the low screens already customized with one of the patterns, so I'm just going to do the second one because I don't know which one I want yet for the build. But let's take them over. This is something that I do a lot when I'm trying to make decisions while I decorate. I will often take a couple of options, and I'll go ahead and customize both of them so I can put them down side by side and see which one I like best. Here I'm putting down the first one, and I'm just going to drop the second pattern down and step back and take a look and see which one works for the area. One of them goes horizontal and the other vertical. I kind of liked the idea of going horizontal, but the vertical one has these little bitty flecks of green and it really matches better. So that's definitely the one I'm going to go with. I've got a bunch more of these that I need to make and get them all down on top of these plots. I wasn't sure if these were really going to work because I wanted to sort of enclose the area but not completely block off the ability to see what was behind it. In the end, I think this is going to work. I'm feeling pretty good about what the space looks like as it's coming together, but we'll have to actually add the different little plants and stuff before I make up my mind completely. I'll put the code that I used up on the screen in case that's something that you're interested in using yourself and you'll know who created it. I'm just going to finish putting these low screens down and I think it's time to speed things up and get back to decorating. With all the different little herb plots put in place, the rest of the decorations here came together very quickly. You can see I'm putting down the little cat grass item in there for one of the herbs, and then I'm planting palm trees for the next, and that one looked perfect. They won't grow, of course, because they're on dirt instead of sand. I also thought it would be cute to drop a couple little white hyacinths down. Of course, I decided to wear one first and then drop it because the buttons, you know, it's a thing. But I decided that a little bit of the green mum and the white hyacinth would be a good fit for the area and look at least like they were little bitty baby plants. And then the little bush starters, if you just drop them down, look amazing down in this space as well. My next step was to put down a lot of different plants and styles because I wanted Coco's herb garden area to look lush and like somebody was really into plants and gardening. At the same time, I didn't want to include a lot of really bright things because I wasn't going for a forest look, but a really natural vintage old-fashioned style garden. The wooden furniture in the game and the clothesline and other things I felt looked as if this was a place that was being lived in, that this was someplace where Coco was going to come and work, but I really wanted to include a little bit of a garden area where she would do potted plants and kind of the tools for gardening. So that's this area that I'm working on here. I put down a couple of the bamboo benches and then I'm just dropping some of the flower items and eventually I add a shovel into place, just things that make it look as if Coco is actually gardening and working in the area. The wood stakes ended up being a really good fit for this particular space too, and I love the way that the different color combinations with the wood textures really help this look like a really rich, kind of comfy, cozy type of a garden. And I think some of that is also increased by the fact that Coco's house has a lot of those beautiful wood colors in it too. Of course, that's a big part of why I chose her for the island because her house is perfect for my theme. The last steps for the area are all the basic things, little flowers, trees, and a few things in place, and then lots of custom patterns on the ground. So I'm just going to keep working through the area to sort of touch up the last little details, and then we'll pop back in and see what the final build looks like. Coco's herb garden is all done and I just want to walk through it with you guys. I decided to go ahead and leave my workbench here just to have one on the other side of the island. I feel like it fit well with the design. And then just walking through the space, she has a place to cook food and then of course to eat or work with the table here. Down into the herb gardens, I decided to go ahead and put a custom pattern underneath the different little herb plots. I used the same one that I designed to go under the statues before, so it was a really easy thing to do. You can see just kind of walking through the space, the different varieties that I decided to go with, and I just love the cozy, natural, organic feel that Coco's area has. I hope you found something useful here and that you continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.